All right, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about a brand new way to solve systems of equations. Last time we talked about substitution, and today we're going to be talking about elimination, okay? It's kind of a cool method when it works, okay? And I'm excited to show it to you. So here, we will solve systems of equations. Continue like that. There we go. Systems of equations, sorry, plural, using elimination. What is elimination? That is the use of addition or subtraction to eliminate one variable and solve a system. Okay, so my example today will be something like this. X plus y equals 10. And then maybe you have something like x minus y equals, I don't know, 6. Okay. And so remember, like in middle, well, not even middle school, like elementary, you know, when math was still easy. And you had like 2 plus 3, and you would put 5, and you get a little sticker on your paper, right? It looks exactly like that. Okay. It's just like 10 plus 6 is 16. This right here is like a 0 pair, right? So 0's out. Then you got 1x plus 1x, which is 2x. And of course, if you have 2x equals 16, then you know that x is going to equal 8, right? And then in order to find out what y is, you just plug it back in. We pick one of the equations. I'm going to pick x plus y equals 10. And I'm just going to plug in x is equal to 8, right? So that's going to be 8 plus y equals 10. So 8 plus what gives me 10? 2. So I know that y is equal to 2. And that's how you do elimination. It's pretty slick, okay? I will say that today, basically the assumption is that at this point, you are fairly solid on how to solve for x. I mean that you are proficient in that, okay? So usually most students at this time of the year, that is an expectation, okay? So my counter example would be kind of like what we were doing last time, right? And my counter example, what not to, this is actually substitution. And that would be something like y, I don't know, y equals 2. And then you have like x plus y equals 10, and you replace the y with 2, and you know that, oh, x is equal to 8, right? This would be the substitution method. All right, let's get in it. Example number 1, we want to use elimination to solve the system of equations. Number 1, you want to ask yourself, is there a 0 pair? So do we have a 0 pair here, guys? Yeah, absolutely, we do. We have a 0 pair, and it is right here. See how one is positive and the other is negative, and they have the same number, right? So that will 0 out. And then we get 4 minus 6, and that's just negative 2y. And then equals 12 plus 18, which is 30. Now, if you're a little bit rusty with the whole adding and subtracting thing, you can just take the coefficients, 4 minus 6, and you get your negative 2, and you can do the same for 12 plus 18 and get your 30, okay? Then, of course, the last step when we solve is we're dividing. by negative 2, dividing by negative 2, and y will equal negative 15. So this is step 2. This is where we solve for one variable. Sometimes we're going to solve for y, and sometimes we're going to solve for x, but we solve for one variable. Okay. Once we have that one variable, we want to do step 3, and we want to solve for the other. And then you're done. So that's it on that one, right? All you got to do, you got this, step 1, step 2, step 3. So let's go ahead and do step 3. You can take either equation. I'm going to take the one usually with smaller numbers, less negatives, that type of thing. I'm just going to rewrite the top one. Negative 3x plus 4y, oopsie, equals 12. Right? And I'm just going to substitute. All right, when we do this, first step is that you want to go ahead and multiply, get rid of any parentheses, right? That's negative 60. Now, we don't have any like terms on either side. We want to move all of our numbers to one side, all of our variable terms to the other. So I'm going to add 60. I'm going to add 60. And I get negative 3x. That zeroes out. Equals 72. And the last step is always to divide by the coefficient. And ladies and gentlemen, 72 divided by negative 3 is negative 24. X equals negative 24. So when I write my final answer, I get negative 24, negative 15 from there. Are there any questions on this? Okay. So let's go on to example number 2. Okay. We have a couple of things here. I'll go ahead. Let's see. We have 4 times one number minus 3 times another number is 12. Okay. Then we have 2 times the first number added to 3 times the second number is 6. Find the numbers. Okay. Let me go ahead and show you. When we're translating here, we have 4 times one number. That's just going to be 4x, right? 4 times a number. Then minus is minus. 3 times another number, not x, another one. So that's got to be 3y. And then we got is 12, right? So that's just equals 12. So right there, you've got 4x minus 3y equals 12. Okay, so at this time, I want you to go ahead and translate the second sentence here. 2 times the first number added 2. 3 times the second number is 6. This would be a good time to pause the video if you're watching it. I'm going to pause here. All right, so we came up with our second equation. 2 times the first number added to 3 times the second number is 6, right? Remember the second number is y, and so that's 3 times y is 6. So now we need to just go through the process. Number 1, do we have a 0 pair? Yes, right? And so we're just going to go ahead and 0 those guys out. And we just kind of bring it down like old school math. 4 plus 2 is 6x. 12 plus 6 is 18. Okay, and then we're just going to solve for x. That's step 2. So we divide by 6. And we divide by 6. And we end up with an answer of, oh, so close. No. Try again. You're really close. 3. There you go. X is equal to 3. Okay, so now we know what x is. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to pick this equation, 2x plus 3y equals 6. I want you to go ahead and plug in your value for 3 and tell me what y is, okay? This is step 3. I'm going to pause real quick. All right, so we're setting up the equation like this, right? We know what x is, so we replace the x with parentheses. And then I'm going to ask you, ma'am, what did you put inside the parentheses? Good. And then you got 2 times 3, which is just, okay. And then what do you have to do now to get y all by itself? You want to help her out, sir? Yeah, essentially you're going to move it to the other side. You're going to move the 6 to the other side. So that's minus 6. Let me make sure everybody knows that it's a minus. Okay, so minus 6 and then minus 6. And so then you end up with 3y equals what? That zeroes out. That zeroes out. 3y equals, and I think a couple people got, yep, it's 0, right? And then last step, all you have to do is divide by 3, divide by 3. And if you forget what 0 divided by 3 is, you can always put it in your calculator. If it gives you an error, you know it's undefined or doesn't exist, but it's actually just 0. So y is equal to 0. So when we write our final answer, the answer is going to be 3 and 0. Y'all see that? Okay. Any questions on that one? All right. So this is a good opportunity. If you are not really solid with your ability to solve for x and y, go ahead and make sure that you get solid because you have to definitely know how to do that in order to do the next few days. Okay. Any questions? Awesome. So we know step 1 is to find the 0 pair, right? Do I have a 0 pair? Wait. No. Yes. Okay. All right, so these right here, they're not quite a 0 pair, right? Because they have to have opposite signs. It's great that they both have 4s, but they need an opposite sign, right? So you know how like anytime you multiply, you could take 4 and multiply it by -1 and you get -4. Or you could take -4 and multiply it by -1 and you get 4. Anytime you multiply by a negative, you're basically just changing the sign, right? And so we can definitely do that with everything on the bottom. So we just change the sign here, negative, make that one a positive, and make this one a negative, right? And now we have our beautiful 0 pair. So this one did require 1 step in order to get that 0 pair. So we're going to 0 that out. And we end up with 5y is equal to 10. Any questions? Last step, we just want to divide by 5. And y is equal to 2. That's step 2. We're already there. We're going to go ahead and pick an equation here. Yeah, you know, and it doesn't even really matter, honestly. You can pick either one. Okay? And you're going to plug in 2. So I'm going to give you about a minute to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, all we had to do was plug it in. So that's going to be 4 times 2 plus 2y equals 8. 4 times 2 is just 8, right? Plus 2y equals 28. So now we're going to plus, what happened?
You put 2 for the x instead of the y.
Oh no, thank you. So thank you for letting me show you what not to do. And double watch your stuff, yes. Because that's the difference between right and wrong. Let's see if I can do it this time. Plus 2 times 2, thank you, equals 28. And then we're just going to go ahead. Hopefully this feels a little bit better. Okay, good. Then we got 28 minus 4 minus 4. Am I doing it right or am I making?
Oh, you're good.
Okay, good. Because, you know, I was just testing y'all, right? Yeah. Divided by 4, and x will equal 6, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 6,
Yay.
2, and this is our answer. Yay? Yay. All right. Any questions? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at this last one. Hooray for word problems, right? Here we have a hardware store earned $956.50 from renting ladders and power tools last week. The store charged 36 days for ladders and 85 days for power tools. This week, the store charged 36 days for ladders and 70 days for power tools and earned $829. How much does the store charge per day for ladders and for power tools? All right. So on Thursday, we talked about word problems that kind of lend themselves nicely to slope-intercept form, right? That's where you have like one number repeats and then the other is like your beginning number, right? It's a one-time number. And then Friday, we talked about the ones that lend themselves better to standard form, right? Usually where you're comparing like two things and there's movement in both, there's change in both. So I'm going to send you a poll really quick. So again, standard form is exactly it, because when we look at these numbers, usually standard form, there's going to be some totals in there, right? And then there's going to be like, we have like 36 days for ladders, 85 days for power. So both of those are like per, like 36 days per, 36. Yeah, you get the idea, but it's like that. This one's changing, this one's changing. So this lends itself nicely to standard form, kind of what we discussed on Friday. So here I always have total. Now on your test, you're not going to have a table provided to you, but nothing says that you can't actually make your own table. So in the chat, go ahead and send me the numbers in this problem that you think would be good totals. You have a hardware store that earned $956.50 from renting ladders and power tools, and the store charged 36 days for ladders and 85 days for power tools. So that's one scenario. And then you have the next one. This week, the store charged 36 days for ladders and 70 days for power tools and earned $829. Lovely. Okay, so, and some of you just went ahead and sent me the whole equation. All right, look, so good job if you said 956.50 and 829. And it might be good to note that these are in dollars, all of this, so everything would have to be in dollars, good. And this one I would probably title as the store charge, what does it say, last week, right? I would probably title that was last week. And this one, it says this week. So I'm going to call it this week, just to kind of keep it straight. Yes. So now X, can you tell me what do you think X is going to be? Go ahead and put that in your chat. Okay. So again, I get the impression y'all want to use 36, okay, in here, and that you want to say like 36x, right? And so what is 36? 36 is the number of days for ladders, right? So this would be the number of days for ladders. Sorry, I'm having to write really small. And then this one would be the number of days for power tools. Okay. And so if this one was 36x, this is probably going to be 85y, right? Good. So, and you kind of have to keep in mind, you can't just say days, right? Because you got to know it's days for ladders and days for power tools, right? So just to kind of keep it straight. So knowing that, go ahead and in the chat, I would like for you to go ahead and write the equation for this week. All right, awesome job. So ladies and gentlemen, we had 36 days for ladders in the second week. So that's 36x. And we had 70 days for power tools. So plus 70y equals that, right? Yay. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve it. Now, we're really close to having a zero pair, right? What was the one thing I'm going to have to do before I can use elimination? Change all the signs of one of them, right? Doesn't matter which one. Real honest with you, it really doesn't matter. Okay. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to change all the signs. I got negative right here, and negative right there, and negative right there, okay? Beautiful thing is this zeroes out. And I get 15y is equal to, okay, that's a little much for me on a Monday morning, minus 829. Make sure I type it in right. I get 127.5. Last step, all I have to do is divide by. There you go. So notice on my calculator, I just hit divide and it says ANS. That means answer. That takes whatever was in the previous spot for my last answer. It's automatically assuming it's there. I'm going to divide by 15 and I get 8.5. Y is equal to 8.5. All right, fabulous. Now I need to just solve for X, right? You did the top one? All right, well, if you did the top one, we'll do the top one. Okay, I'm just rewriting it. What variable am I going to replace? Not like last time. The Y. I'm going to pay attention so I do it right. All right, if you need me to slow down, explain anything, let me know. I am kind of making an assumption that we kind of got the whole solving for X thing down. So I'm going to put that in my calculator. Enlighten me, what am I going to have to do at this point? Next to last step. Minus additive inverse. In this case, it's minus 722.5. And the very last step. 36x equals, that just zeroes out. Let me go ahead and put that in, 956.5 minus 722.5, 234, divide by 36, divide by 36, and X is equal to 650. So although technically my answer is like this is a word problem. So we probably want to say a little something. I always like to go back. What are they asking for? How much does the store charge per day for ladders and for pocket power tools? Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I actually do have a critique of what I thought X and Y is. No. X is the number of days, but when you multiply it times dollars, it becomes, right? No. All right, I have a critique right here. We know that the answer is going to be $6.50 per day for a ladder. Would y'all agree with that? And we can kind of go in here. And we also know that it's $8.50 per day for a ladder, right? We're going to pretend that says per. Man, today is like Mistake Monday. It's okay. We learn from mistakes. Ooh, not ladders. So I jinxed myself, power tools. But does anybody see the mistake that I made? What does X actually symbolize? What is X? It's not number of days. Not the number of, nope. Because that's actually 36. Like this one was 36 ladders. This was 85 power tools, right? What does X actually represent? Remember, it says, how much does the store charge per day for ladders and for power tools? This is usually the sentence that tells us, hey, these are your variables, right? What you're in search of. Nope, nobody's gotten it yet. I don't feel so bad for making the mistake.
Wait, so X should be
X is going to be, and I should actually write this. Yes, there we go, Philip. Good. Very good, Arilana. Very nice. Good. So learning from my mistakes, which is awesome. X is the cost. You see it? Per day for a ladder. Do you see why it's not the number, right? Yeah, because actually what they're telling us when they say 36, it was like 36 days. That was the number. Like 36 is the number of days. This is the cost. Okay. And so then this Y is the cost per day for a power tool. Good. Good. So, I mean, it was close enough. We were able to write our equation. Yes. Yeah, this, you know what? Word problems do tend to be kind of where people struggle a little bit, right? Because you really have to like get to the actual thing, but I'm glad that we were able to do that. So I'm just going to put here, look below, and at least we caught it, right? All right. Any questions on this? Well, thank you for playing along. I really appreciate it. And I hope you do well on today's assignment. Take care. Bye-bye.